You're so many ways to say you're. But loud and proud is the best way. It's the only way. What's up, guys? Happy Wednesday, March 11th, 2020. Where's my voice? I gotta warm up the vocal cords, man. We haven't been talking. Hopefully, you guys are coming off the heels of a good night last night. If you look at last night, top scorers, of course, Luka Doncic, questionable all day, shows up. Be the piece of the night. However, it's only a couple $100 cheaper than James Harden. Difference of 4 points, so I don't feel like I missed out there. LeBron James, mentioned him on yesterday's pod. Man, I was like, man, if you're brave enough to do it, play LeBron over Harden. It actually worked out by a couple decimal points. Where I did not play was the Pacers and Boston. Man, if you guys played Boston, kudos to you. 114 real points. Not that much, right, in today's day and age. And Indiana, for that matter, 111. But, man, this little game stack turned out. Gordon Hayward, 7K, 55, Indiana narrative. Had himself a 27-point double-double. I had literally none of that. Jason Tatum, I wouldn't, try and play with that one either. I don't feel as bad on the Tatum, right? He's almost 9K, 50 bomb. You take it all day long, but what are you going to do? Daniel Tice, 37 at 5K, and then Marcus Smart, 30. I didn't have Kemba, but this game did a lot better for fantasy than I projected it for. Victor Oladipo, the guy, 47 DKP, 27 real points. Easily his best game since he's come back, and he coexisted with Domantas Sabonis. So, cute little game stack that did really well. But that was the only that was like one of the only games I X'd out completely. Elsewhere, man, the rest of the slate kind of went the way you expected. Maybe a few guys fell through the cracks. Andre Drummond, not great. Nets did beat the Lakers, by the way. So you got maybe a bigger game from like LeVert or somebody like that. Derek White dropped nearly 50 fantasy points, 4,600. Might have been the best value play last night? Question mark. Yeah, I think it was. And yeah, other than that, pretty normal night for the most part. Right, nothing crazy happened. So hopefully tonight we keep that lack of craziness going. 6 games. Should be pretty easy to chop up and discuss, man. What the chat's looking like? Let me open up my restream chat because I don't know. Sometimes I don't even know how to explain it. But when I go live on YouTube, sometimes it puts me under events and sometimes under stream now, which it's like two different. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, man. I went and changed the title. I had to go change the title because it came up wrong. Because it went through a different source. Weird. Anyway, we are streaming live on both Twitch and YouTube. You guys are already cranked up in the YouTube chat. Shout out to Chadwick Richardson. Shout out to Kenny Espinal. Shout out to Van Jones. Maybe another crazy slate with people sitting in late news. Yeah, it'd be like that. At least this one's a little bit more consolidated. Just 6 games, right? 9 games. You got to keep our head on a swivel, looking back and forth. Brian Funk. Does anyone go to Warrior games to see? I haven't caught full the way up. I perused through my Discord, saw a lot of people linking like tweets and stuff saying that a lot of cities are keeping it moving with this Corona lockdown, and that San Francisco was one of them. So it sounds like the Warrior games are in jeopardy of at least not admitting fans. I don't want to speculate what's anything further because I didn't read anything. But yeah, man, it's a serious situation. I also saw like the Mariners won't play their first couple of series in Seattle. Washington State's really got it bad. So crazy situation, man. It'd be crazy out there. What up, Hunter? What up, Dan? How you doing? Ibsen Bracey Kemba sucks. Yeah. Not great. Anyway, let's go bring the Canadian Skip Bayless up in her. Yo.
Yo.
What's crack lagging?
It's another day, another grind. Watched the Bachelor finale last night. It was pretty
The freak? What?
Yo, what an idiot Peter is. What a guy.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Don't watch the Bachelor. Oh man.
Whoa. First of all, the fact that you were about to say you don't watch The Bachelor, like I'm some, like what? Like I'm, like I'm some
I'm just
peasant.
saying, it's a great show. I feel like it's popping in the States too.
I mean, maybe, but
Fun.
does it have
Your
LeBron?
girl watched The Bachelor.
I doubt it.
Great show though.
The freak. Is that the one where everyone, like I
Like
said,
the guy gets to date like 20 girls at once, gets to pick a lover. Yeah,
Rods,
he's living the dream.
Get the f off my stream, bro. What the freak are you doing?
I'm telling you, great show. People gonna hate, but it's a great show.
I don't even know how to segue that. That's ridiculous. That's it. I don't know. I never. I know of The Bachelor.
Hopefully, we make better picks today than Peter the Bachelor did on the finale.
Oh, see, now we're making references that no one, my demographic, will understand. Right? Is anybody in chat? Like, is there anyone in chat that knows what the freak he's talking about? And then you guys.
We don't want no Hannah Ann's in this world. We don't need no Hannah energy in our life.
I just opened
We need some Madison.
the Black Cherry Vanilla Bang. So about halfway through this pod,
Peter was doing a little too much banging. That's why Madison left him.
fam, what?
That's too easy.
Van says, scoot back from the mic, Canadian slow money. If you don't watch The Bachelor, you're single. I mean, I guess. You know what show old lady got me into was Jersey Shore, bro. I never watched
I love that show.
Never watched that when I was,
You never watched it when it was in his prime?
No,
that was great
because
TV. It was such great TV in his prime.
Dude, you know what I was doing when that show was in its prime? I was fighting in prisons all across Texas. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
I mean, if you've seen like Jersey Shore for season 1, Mike the Situation has like the greatest transformation ever shown on TV. From like the ultimate bro douchebag to like the most lovable character now in the family reunion.
Anyway, Josh Jennings, coronavirus spreading really bad here in the Bay. Dude, I can't tell if this thing is serious or nah.
I mean, I think it's definitely serious now. I mean, the San Francisco banning it, like it's getting real serious. It's not a little flu no more.
All I'm saying is, if they want to push back the entire MLB season, I'm not against it. I'm not against it.
I mean, what am I supposed to bet on and play DFS? I don't know.
I don't know, but I need my team needs to get healthy. So if it just so happens that this thing is serious enough to push back a season a little bit, that way I can get Judge recovered and Aaron Hicks back and Paxton back, and today Zach Britton got hit with a comeback, or Gary Sanchez isn't fully healthy. My entire team's hurt, dog. So yeah, let's all just go into hiding and work on this season in a couple months, man. Kenny says technical foul on Raj with that bull crap. I agree. Bachelor's wag. Yes. The only Dan says the only reality TV show I watch is Survivor and Amazing Race. Man, those things.
Survivor had its day. Survivor definitely had its day.
That's the one that started it all, right? It's only serious because it's spreading fast and dangerous on the older. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to. Pushing this season is better than not allowing fans to show up. I mean, sports are still a business, man, and you take a loss when you have to play in empty arenas. I live in Texas, and they just pushed back this South by Southwest. You know what's crazy is they're not refunding people either.
I heard, some music festivals canceling. Yeah, they're not refunding. You just got to adjust for the new date.
It's wild, dude. It's wild. Check out the Joe Rogan podcast. Yeah, I saw that floating around. I might have to spend a minute or two watching that.
Yeah. Drink your green shakes, guys. Drink your lemon waters. Get your body immune to it.
Drink your black cherry vanilla bangs.
Yeah, that probably attracts the virus.
Okay, buddy. Anyway, as of 3 p.m. Eastern, Fantasy Labs, key news to watch: Joel Embiid questionable, Rudy Gobert questionable, Jimmy G buckets, and the G stands for gonna play or not. I don't know. Kendrick Nunn, Tyler Hero also questionable, Jay Crowder probable, SGA probable, Terry Rozier probable, Bruce Brown Jr. questionable. Lots of I don't want to say lots, but for a 6-game slate, there's a couple names on there that matter, right? Even if Gobert was out, that would shake things up.
I expect Gobert and Jimmy Butler to sit as of right now. So,
well, if that happens, might have some interesting value plays today. If you guys are on Twitter, go hit that fat retweet on my latest tweet with the streams, man. If you haven't followed on Twitch yet, I'm almost at 1,600, man. Help me out. Help me get there. And I will love you forever. Anything else we need? No, okay. I was going to say anything else I need to plug before I get into it, but nope, nothing to plug. So let's get into it. 6 games on the docket. Oh, man. I feel like I got corona. Detroit Pistons project starting 5. Bruce Brown, Svi McGalley, Tony Snell, Christian Wood, Thon Maker taking on the Philadelphia 76ers, Shake Milton, Josh Richardson, Tobias Harris, Al Horford, and Joel Embiid. Embiid has missed a little bit of time, which has made guys like Shake Milton, guys like Tobias Harris, and even guys like Al Horford play above their mean or their median this season as of late. So if Joel Embiid comes back in the mix, it might be something to shake up the usage rate. Let me go check out the Philadelphia 76ers injury report. See what the written word is on Joel Embiid. Left shoulder. He was able to go. He was able to get through Tuesday's practice. So if he looks good at tomorrow's shoot-around, there's a chance he'll be able to get back out there following a 5-game absence. If he does play, Mike Scott will return to the second unit, and Shake Milton's usage will go down. That's a blurb from yesterday from Roto World. So 10.5 on him against the Detroit Pistons. Philadelphia, home favorite here, 11-point spread. Weird game to read. I think Joel Embiid's status is everything, right? If Embiid is in, can't really be that excited to pay $8,500 for Tobias Harris and $7,400 for Al Horford. But if Embiid's out, then I think we think a little bit harder, a little bit deeper on those two because of it just being a 6-game slate. And there definitely is a range of outcome where Toby and or Horford can drop 40-plus fantasy points. And same with Shake Milton. I think Shake Milton's a little bit more hit or miss. I was really, really, really high on him against the Warriors, I think. And he only got me 24. But, he's one of those guys that is going to go out there, scratch and claw, and give you a shot at 30 fantasy points. And there's a little bit of upside there. I don't mind guards against the Pistons. So I would say, man, this game, luckily this is the first game on the docket, right? So we should have Embiid news while we're submitting lineups. But if Embiid is in, what do you do with this game?
He did. I just completely fade this game. Plenty of other games to attack here. Not going to run to it. If Embiid's out, give me some Al Horford here. Even with Embiid out, I mean, that $8,500 price tag is tough with Harris. He has that, 50-point upside. We've seen it occasionally. But if I'll get to him, I don't know. There's so many other games on this slate that I prefer. Detroit side, if Embiid sits, I kind of like Brandon Knight, the Christian Wood combo to keep this game kind of close. If Bruce Brown sits, who's questionable. But if Embiid plays, I think I'll just full fade this game. And it seems like a pretty clear route. But if not, Brandon Knight's definitely interesting. 4,900 with no Bruce Brown. If he gets ruled out, could see 35-plus minutes. It should be good for, 7-8x at his price.
Yeah, it's one of those hard to read games. Like I feel like at the end of the night, I could see some big scores here. Also, Josh Richardson back in the mix is a plus for them too. He was also down. So the Sixers, who have been limping without Richardson, without Embiid, and without Simmons, could have 2 or 3 of those guys back. Not that Jay Rich was ever a high usage guy, but a couple more ball handling responsibilities to spread apart. It's not like you're making Furkan Korkmaz play point guard right now. So really weird game. I think I need ins and outs. If Bruce Brown was out, Jordan McRae has been getting 25 minutes or so. One of these games, those minutes are going to mean something. We've seen him do well in Cleveland and in Washington. But the fact that Bruce Brown's in the mix and there's Langston Galloway and all those guys to play 20, 25, 30 minutes each. But if Bruce Brown were able to miss, maybe he becomes a 100K to first tournament play or something like that. But I think on the surface, this is one of those skip games, and then I'll go through the rest. And if I needed to fill a hole, I'd come back to this game and investigate. But there's really no one here that's just like screaming at me, and I can't really justify being that stoked on Tobias. Definitely not Horford. Tobias is still intriguing, but I can't be that high on him as long as Embiid is in. If Embiid was in, would you play him? 9K on FanDuel, 10.5 on FanDuel. It kind of reminds me of Luka Doncic yesterday, right? They just lingered
Yeah.
on the Q tag list all day, and people were already had their sights set on James Harden, and no one played Luka Doncic. If Embiid is
I mean,
in,
Embiid's been out for a while. I probably wouldn't get there. I kind of like some other. I mean, I think I prefer Bam today, especially with Jimmy missing shooting around. Expected to be out against Charlotte.
yeah.
But I get it. Tournament plays there. It's just I could see them maybe holding him back, even blowing this game out against Detroit if he's fully back.
Chat saying Thon Maker needs to be in the pool. He's 3,100. He's still position eligible on DraftKings. Can I get 24 out of him to make a difference?
He might be a good pivot from Bradley. He'll probably be chalk. Again, Rudy Gobert missed shoot around, which means he's in all likelihood gonna miss. So Tony Bradley becoming incredible chalk. So if you want to pivot from him to Don Maker, if Don Maker outscores him, you're in a great spot in tournaments.
Yeah. Looking at the live chat, Sway says a lot of value in the bigs tonight. Sounds like it. Hunter's posting the Dow Jones. I don't follow stocks. Sorry. Jay says, "What's with the Joe Rogan podcast?" I haven't watched it, but there's
Coronavirus.
there's like a little piece of an interview that kind of puts the current epidemic in perspective. But I don't want to be a vehicle that sways fear or confidence in it. So I just kind of leave it in the corner. That's not really my expertise, right? Well, Gunn said we'll be aight. Okay, well I don't know. I have seen a lot of my friends buying cheap plane tickets. I'll tell you that. New York Knicks at the Atlanta Hawks. Next game on the docket. Project start at 5-4. The Knicks. Elfrid Payton. RJ Barrett. Mo. How could you be so heartless? Julius Randle and Taj Gibson taking on Trae Young, Kevin Huerter, DeAndre Hunter, John Collins, Dwayne Dedmon. I tell you what, Knicks got me last night, man. The Knicks got me.
Too. It's just so tough.
What happened? See, what happened was the starters came out flat. I'm talking flat. The starting five in the first 4 minutes 2 seconds were minus 14. They were getting smacked, and then they were like, "All right, let's put in the guard squad. Let's go put in Ntilikina, Reggie Bullock, Mitchell Robinson." Ntilikina's like, "Let me go have the best game of my life." And the backups actually came up and basically made it a game like ASAP. So it's just we see that every now and then where the starters come out mad flat and the coach literally starts or benches the entire five guys on the court. So that's what happened last night, and they were just the hot hands. I could see a lot of people chasing those points tonight. I'm gonna hope that that's more anomalic than anything, but it's the Hawks. So we have some decision making to do. Elfrid Payton, I liked him last night. I'm gonna like him again tonight. But it burns, right? You just touch the stove and it burns because of what Ntilikina and the backups did last night. Same as Julius Randle, another spot where I like him. So can they come out a little bit more pep in their step as the starting unit? Or will guys like Frank Ntilikina and Bobby Portis and Mitchell Robinson all, have to carry the load again? So I think all the Knicks are in consideration. Literally all of them. Well, most of the Knicks, especially the heavy hitters off the bench, the M-Robs, Portis, Ntilikina's, guys like that. But all of them are going to come with extremely high volatility. There's a wide range of outcomes for just about every Knick you might consider. Elfrid Payton is one of those guys I do think has backdoor triple-double potential. Julius Randle, I think, at almost 8K could get you 45 fantasy points if things are going well. And then Frank Ntilikina, really, really cheap. Last night earned him, another shot at 20, 25 minutes. We also know, he can get a steal or two here and there. The Atlanta Hawks do lead the league in turnover per play percentage. And because of their pace being what it is, I mean, there's a lot of opportunity for a couple of high steal games here. Even Elfrid Payton, averaging 1.6 steals per game, could fall into some steals to help out his FanDuel. So a lot of Knicks in play today. It's just, man, it's not. There's landmines in there, right? On the Atlanta Hawks side, Trae Young, 10K on FanDuel, 10-4 on DraftKings. Looking for that 50-point floor and hopefully, flirting with 60, 70-point upside. John Collins is right around 9K on both sides. sites rather, and then Kevin Herter right around 6K. If we go look at that DVP chart for the Knicks, their weakest points have been point guard, small forward, and power forward. So even Kevin Herter, who plays a lot of minutes, the matchup's not great, but I got him at 37 minutes conservatively. Could that walk into a 30-plus fantasy point performance? Maybe. It's a 231.5 total. Fam, it's the Hawks. What do you do with the Knicks, man? I feel like this is.
You just go right back to Alvin Payton, Julius Randle. I don't even think the ownership is going to be low, though. I think people are going to go right back to them, even after they burned everyone yesterday. Like you said, it's the Hawks. You play those guys. When it comes to, it's pretty simple. If you want to throw some Bobby Portis' value, I get it. Mitchell Robinson, I get it. But I'm going to just predominantly have mostly Alfred Payton, Julius Randle. And the Hawks side, it's almost like I want to fade, but I'll have a little bit of Trae Young, DeAndre Hunter, Cam Reddish plays or tier 1 plays.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking ahead here. Some of these other games are just ugly, right? A lot of slow pace, tough defense games. I think, do I have a couple 9K John Collins shares in me? Probably. Trae Young, though. How much Trae Young? 20%, right?
And if can he outscore Luka today without Porzingis? Great in tournaments.
We've never seen Luka without Porzingis fail for us, right?
Yeah.
Ever. It's never happened, right? Oh, man. Let's see what the chat has here.
Trae Young is averaging 67 in 2 games against the Knicks.
Yeah. I think they had, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like there was a triple overtime game or something that went like.
Oh, big overtime, yeah.
I could be wrong on that, but I feel like the Hawks and somebody like the Knicks, some weird team like that. Let me.
Okay, yeah, they did. They definitely did because John Collins played 49 minutes and dropped 60 fantasy points against the Knicks one game.
I have like an encyclopedia up there, bro. I can't control it. It does it. See what you guys got in the chat. Josh Jennings, Peep, Tony Bradley stats with Gobert out. Yeah, we're definitely going to be looking at that, and he could be one of the more trendy plays tonight. Hunter says, how much Joel will you have? I think Joel Embiid exposure really depends on how many lineups you have and what your risk tolerance is. So I'm not going to lie. Last night, I had some DeAndre Ayton, but I said it on the pod. Know dang well that, you write your name on that bullet, anything could happen. And when Drummond kind of fell flat, I was like, oh, yeah, Ayton, has a shot here. And then Ayton just didn't play. And then a lot of people, me included, started swapping some shares of Montrezl Harrell on DraftKings into Aaron Baines, and he wasn't that great. So, Embiid is a lot less risky because it's the first game at lock. Center's probably going to have a lot of value tonight, so I think the typical way to build will be, pay up at the guard spot. A lot of Trae Young exposure guys like that. So how much Embiid? I think it would really depend on how many lines. In 20 lineups, I'd probably get to a couple. If I felt like minutes would be around 28. If they weren't, like if someone came out and said he's going to be limited, which is very possible, I might just get completely ghosted here. But I do like the idea of maybe a low-owned Embiid in a not bad matchup. It's just the game could get so lopsided that I don't want to push the issue. So at best, it's like a tier 3 low like cap at 8% type of play. But we'll see. Van Jones, I'm on Elf tonight because he's probably going to be low owned. I don't even know. Didn't even mention Portis. Portis is fine. Like I think point per minute, his efficiency is really, really good. I put him down for 25 minutes in my soft projections. They actually spit back 30 fantasy points. So if he gives me 30 at 4,200, I will take that all day long, all day strong. And I like the fact that he's forward eligible, so you can be a little versatile where you use him. 37 DKP against the Wizards, 26, 29. All these other matchups really aren't fast-paced, but you look at some of his better games in this game log. I think the pace is I don't know, 27 against Houston. Not a lot of fast-paced games in their game log. So I don't mind Bobby Portis at all at that price. But that would just be one of the risky value plays too. I wouldn't really do anything crazy with him. It was Portis and Frank that brought them back. Yeah. Backups went in. I'm feeling RJ Barrett says Bracey. Bradley 24 minutes. Bradley pays off the price in 24 minutes. You guys are all about some Tony Bradley tonight. I'm with it though. What up, KJ Smash? Where you been? Take that for data. I remember some weird stuff sometimes. I don't know why. Miami Heat hosting the Charlotte Hornets. Next game on the docket. 210 total. Project starting 5 for the Hornets. Terry Rozier, Devontae Graham, Miles Bridges, PJ Washington, Cody Zeller. Taking on Kendrick Nunn, Jimmy Butler, Duncan Robinson, Derek Jones Jr., and Bam Adebayo. So we'll pull up the injury report for the Miami Heat. As we mentioned a few times, it definitely seems likely that Jimmy Butler could not play. Jimmy Butler is listed as questionable with a toe. Tyler Hero's listed as questionable with an ankle. And Kendrick Nunn is listed as questionable with a chest. Butler was hobbled by the toe issue on Sunday, and he was unable to practice today, so it may make sense for him to skip a game against the lowly Hornets. But we should have a better idea before game time. And that's a blurb from Roto World. Kendrick Nunn also did not practice yesterday. And Tyler Hero, who has missed some games anyway, did get through a full practice. So there's a chance that maybe Hero plays and Nunn and Butler are out, and that makes him interesting. Jay Crowder, concussion, probable to play. And Jay Crowder's usage in minutes would go up if Jimmy Butler's out, right? So there's going to be plenty of ways to attack this Miami Heat team. Now, the Charlotte Hornets are a very slow team. If we go to that pace chart in the RunDFS.com VIP spreadsheet, you'll find the Hornets run the third slowest pace in basketball. Miami Heat are bottom 10 as well. So it's not going to be a track meet by any stretch of the imagination, but Jimmy Butler does remove 30-plus minutes of decent usage, and then if Kendrick Nunn's out, that's 50 combined minutes plus. And if Tyler Hero didn't play, man, we got to fill some holes here. And then we get a little weird, right? Duncan Robinson, 6K on DraftKings. That's one of those I could never, but it could work, right? But Bam Adebayo seems like the clear-cut, obvious play. Not only is it a potential usage bump with all these guys out, but it's one of the best matchups in the league for fantasy points. Centers against the Charlotte Hornets are giving up the most fantasy points per game on this slate. And I think they're top 2. I think they're behind just the Nets in terms of the entire season on the slate. So big spot for Adebayo. He's pretty much viable regardless of right. Like if all the guards were in, you could still play Adebayo and justify the spot, the matchup. But it just becomes that much better. And we've seen stretches this season without Jimmy Butler where Adebayo was out there dropping triple doubles. So this could be one of those spots as well. If we get any combination of Nunn, Butler, Tyler Hero out. Goran Dragic also slides into the DMs as a guy that can be a strong shot at 30 fantasy points. And I wouldn't mind, loading up on him. And Duncan Robinson, man, why is that feeling weird from you? 6K seems rough, but is there a world where we play Duncan Robinson today if those guys are out? He's throwing some sneaky games in there. 42, 38, 34.
He's shooting like 80% from 3 or something ridiculous recently, the past couple games.
Last 2 games, sloppy defense, really fast-paced shootouts, heavy minutes, man.
Yeah, I get it. Like he can be in the if like Hero's rolled out, Nunn's rolled out, Jimmy's rolled out. I get it. You can play some of him. One of those guys are in. I think it's tough, but the guys who could focus on is going to be Dragic. If Jimmy's out, I mean tier 1 lock and load Dragic. He's always been like playmaker on this team, like Duncan Robinson. Even Nunn, like he's more of just a kind of a score first type of guy. George is going to just control the game. Ball's going to be in his hands. Give me all of him. Give me Bam Adebayo, 9K. Like you said, you'd play him if all those guys were in. So definitely going to focus on those two. On the Charlotte side, I'm just going to fade because this game is going to be a slower paced game. So just those 2 guys for me and some Duncan Robinson if all those guys are ruled out. And Jay Crowder for some value.
What kind of mic you using?
My headphones?
Yeah, I think they're rubbing against your shirt or something, bro. Like,
yeah.
Starting to fire. in my soul. Devontae Graham and Terry Rozier. So if those heavy hitter guards for the Heat are out, i.e. Butler, I actually wouldn't hate a couple shots on those guys in tournaments. We've seen some Heat games, get a little. I don't want to say I don't project this game to get high scoring just because of the pace, but we've seen some teams put up some numbers on the Heat that are somewhat surprising. So if guys like Miles Bridges, Devontae Graham, Terry Rozier had a good game, wouldn't surprise me. They'd be nothing more than a low tier 3 shot in the dark, but I don't mind that. Miami Heat fundamentally are a really good perimeter defense. So, but I love the Heat stack if we start getting a bunch of these guys out. And then Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder is really intriguing to me. I know a lot of people will run to Adebayo because of the Butler news, but Jay Crowder with 30 minutes against the Charlotte Hornets, I can buy into that, and he might, for all intents and purposes, get 34, 35 minutes, and if he can point per minute at 4,500, get me 30, I would love that. So definitely have Jay Crowder on deck, pending news here. See what the live chat has on this game before we matriculate on to the next one. KJ Smash says, I've been enrolled and I'm back again. He didn't say the second part, but we all know Lil Wayne up in here. Hunt, you got 0 Deadman gun? I mean, I haven't made my player pool percentages yet. I have been odd man out on guys like Dwayne Deadman. I don't know. I usually don't get crazy cute at center. Robinson's the play here. Yeah, Duncan Robinson's just like poking at me, man. He's like, hey, bro, I'm here. So I might. Josh Dennis says Crowder or Jones Jr. if Butler's out. For me, Crowder. Jones Jr. is still like playable, but I feel like his volatility, his floor to ceiling ratio, is just like beyond my comfort level. Would I not have some Jones because of the matchup? Right, he's not really a typical big though. Maybe have some. I'd rather have Crowder though. And if they played on the court together, you'd probably see Crowder more so at the 4 than the 3. KJ Smash says Dragic chalk is terrible. Too many point guards to play tonight to go to him. But it's not like Dragic. This isn't like some random, right? Dragic's been out there when he gets minutes. 30. You look at 30 minutes, right? 44, 40, 30. It's not like this guy isn't out there getting it done, and it's not like
scrub. Like he's a good NBA player.
Yeah, solid. You agree with Raj on Dragic if Jimmy's out? I mean, I feel like that wasn't Raj's idea, but sure. If we want to give him the credit for that one, sure. But it's not specifically just Jimmy. I feel like there's a chance that 2 or 3 of those guards are out, right? Kendrick Nunn didn't practice too. So if he's out, you're going to get those minutes from Dragic. You're going to get those minutes from maybe Tyler Hero if he's able to go because he did practice. And they keep a short rotation, right? There's not a whole lot of extra bodies on the Miami Heat team that they're throwing into the mix to get run, right? Crowder, I think 6 FanDuel points in 35 minutes versus Charlotte. Was that with the Heat or with Memphis? He's not a scrub, just not a good play for tonight. You don't think Goran Dragic is a solid AF play in the event of a Butler or a Nunn being out, especially if both. Like for right now, if you put Dragic at 30 minutes at under 6K on a 6-game slate, you just don't think that could hit. Hey man, we all attacking the slate in our own way, man, right? I don't want to push you off Dragic or put you on Dragic and then be completely on the wrong side of him tomorrow, right? Alex Chapman says, you guys like Andre Iguodala tonight if those guys are out? Man, that's interesting. I didn't even consider Iguodala. 3,200. What would we put his minute projection at? Maybe 23, 24? I probably missed out on that and hope for the worst. I probably don't push the issue there. But I love that thought process, though. That's really sneaky. I could see that. I could see it. I don't think I get there, Alex, but that's really fun. What up, Hector? Sway says, I just like Elf and Fox a bit more than Dragic now if Nunn and Hero's out. Well, that's the context of why we're discussing Dragic, right? If Nunn and Hero and Butler are in, even if it's just Butler, right? I don't necessarily love Dragic, but I think from reading these reports, it sounds like there's at least an above average chance that Nunn could be out too, because Nunn also missed practice. So if we get 2 or 3 out, then I think 30 minutes are kind of baked in there for Dragic, who hasn't been far from 30 minutes just in a normal rotation as it is, right? Butler's different than Nunn. That's why I asked. Yeah, a little bit. KJ says only way he's a good play is if he drops a Raj hot take 50 bomb. Okay.
50 bomb would be nice, but I'm expecting a 40.
Dallas Mavericks hosting the Denver Nuggets next game on the docket. Project starting 5 for the Nuggets. Jamal Murray, Gary Harris, Will Barton, Paul Millsap, and Nikola Jokic taking on Luka Doncic. Maybe Courtney Lee, Tim Hardaway, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Maxi Kleber. I said maybe because of the projected lineup. I obviously expect Doncic to play. So we get ourselves a case of the Mavericks on night 2 of a back-to-back. As typical, Porzingis will not play night 2 of a back-to-back. Jalen Brunson out, Seth Curry out, opening up some guard minutes here and opportunity for guys like DeLon Wright, Courtney Lee, maybe even some JJ Barea. And the big question here is it's not even a question. It's just like, hey, Luka Doncic without Kristaps Porzingis. I feel like this has been burning me so much lately. So let's stat view this. Luka Doncic DKP by game log without Kristaps Porzingis last 10 games. Why am I typing so slow? Jesus. Last 10 games, 43, 60, 70, 34, 46, 47, 52. Wide range of outcomes here. And it's the Denver Nuggets, right? One of the better guard defenses. Now, Lucas has taken actual dumps on really tough defenses before this season. So I think we play the numbers, we play the usage, we play the potential without Kristaps Porzingis. But the risk is at a really, really elevated level, right? 11.2K on FanDuel, 11K on DraftKings. You got to have 60. Is that fair?
I mean, absolutely, you need that 60 for sure.
And even like I'm not even excited about 60, but you gotta have 60. He's averaging 39 DKP in 2 games against them. Man, I'm on the fence here, man. I'm on the fence. What are you doing with Luka? You jamming that in? If you played one lineup tonight, would it have Luka Doncic?
Yeah, I'm going with Luka, Tim Hardaway Jr. I think this game stays close, competitive, and then they're going to be right on their back. I mean, Tim Hardaway Jr. is another guy at 6'3". Duncan Robinson price. He's had a couple good games back to back and shooting well, and I think Luka and him are going to have to carry this team.
It's only a 2-point spread. Denver on the road. It's nothing that I'm scared of, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tim Hardaway's had some sneaky ones. A couple 30 bombs. A lot of real points lately. 20, 30, 18, 26 real points. That's what you like to see. Interesting. Maxi Kleber without Porzingis. I got him at 34 soft minutes. Willie Cauley-Stein has a Q tag on him. For some reason, they don't like to use Willie Cauley-Stein. Let me see what the official word is on him, though. Or a report on what he's dealing with. Willie Cauley-Stein is listed as probable with an illness. It says he'll probably be picking up a DNP coach's decision tonight. That's a shame. That's a shame, man. I thought that was like one of the steals of the season, right? And they just don't use him. But if he does play, I'm sure we can look his way. But it looks like Kleber is a guy that might be baked in here for 30-plus minutes. And at 4,600, one of those forward center dual position eligible guys, can you do something with him? He's actually gotten 30 minutes for the last 4 or 5 games. Wide range of outcomes, as little as 9, as much as 37. I probably don't push the issue there, but it's at least worth a thought. I guess I'm with you, Luka, Hardaway. It's hard to love anyone else from the Mavericks. On the Denver Nuggets side, I like the FanDuel pricing on the entire starting 5. And while I do think Kleber is a plus defender, I think Porzingis is also a plus defender. I think this matchup gets a little bit softer for Jokic here. And at 9,300, Would you play Jokic and Embiid in a 1v1? Is it snap call Jokic? Like, if Embiid was not limited or anything like that, are you snap calling Jokic? I think I do.
Right now, I have no Jokic. I only have 10 lines right now. I have no Jokic in 10 lines. Um, it's a spot. I mean, he should dominate what against Kleba defense, or if Willie Cauley-Stein gets the minutes, should have his way. It just seems like in this team,
He's been flirting with like backdoor triple doubles
at like those
forever.
10 point, 10 rebound, 10 assist triple doubles, 9,700 on DK. It's almost like he doesn't need to showcase his full skill set in these games, right? They're just such a deep team. There's so many bodies, so many mouths to feed that he doesn't need that 60-point game.
Yeah, I mean, ever since like Millsap and Jamal Murray came back, and I
Yeah.
I get it, but I wouldn't have none. I'm just curious to what we do because 9,300 on FanDuel. I'm a little bit intrigued. Will Barton kind of sticks at the 6K area. Still a guy I like to flirt with 30 more often than he doesn't. I do think the small forward spot is the weakest point of the Mavs defense. DVP chart kind of agrees with this there. So I don't mind some errant shots of Will Barton. I probably start him as a tier 3. And then Jamal Murray, probably also a tier 3. Nuggets are kind of weird to fill out, but
Hey, Rozier is not questionable.
he got downgraded to questionable.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So
Monday night.
might be Devontae, but also I would say keep Cody Martin in your thoughts. He's playable anyway. Ever since Monk got popped for drugs or whatever he got popped for, he's been getting 30 minutes. Price hasn't gotten too out of control at 4,400. It's just somebody I put in my back pocket, and maybe he comes through for like a 38-minute game and maybe 25, 30 fantasy points, something like that. Anyway, so that's how we react to that news. Any other core play? Like, what do you do with the Nuggets, if anything? Like, I think you made your thoughts on Luka and Tim Hardaway pretty straightforward, but I feel like you gotta have some Nuggets in multiple lines tonight, right? Like Barton.
I mean, you mentioned Will Barton's the guy who I'll probably have a ton of. Just because 6,200, there's a lot of meat on the bone there. We've seen him. I mean, he should be good for mid-30s here, but we've seen he could have those, 40, high 40s, close to 50-point games. So his price, I'll take some of him. Millsap 5,100. I mean, he's coming off a 38-point fantasy game. I mean, he's a 20-10 guy in any matchup. Could he get you 35 in this matchup? Yes, I wouldn't be shocked. So give me some Barton and Millsap, who seemed, like we said, there's still some meat on the bone there. Everyone else just seems like they're priced appropriately.
Man, I don't want to like derail what we're talking about, but Shams just tweeted that the NCAA's men's and women's tournaments will be held without fans. That's the March Madness tournament, right?
Yeah.
Without fans? Like that? Like I get it. I understand why, but wow, is that weird?
It's getting serious out here. Very serious in the streets.
Said only essential staff and limited family attendance. Bro,
It could be like less than 1,000 people or something.
That's actually kind of wild. That's
One of those situations.
Anyway, dang, that's so weird, dog. College, especially college sports, man. That's what fans make half the game, bro. Right? You just want to see kids losing their mind. That's pretty wild. Anyway, let's look back at the live chat. Hector says, Luka, lock it in for 80. He's going for 50 real points plus the trip dub bonus. I can see it. Van says, I'm playing one lineup and I don't have Luka. So I would say, like for you one lineup guys in tournaments. Man, dude, 11K is such a high responsibility on this slate. I mean, if I ran a single lineup right now, I think I fade Luka, but I'm an idiot, right?
I mean that Devontae Graham news, like with Terry Rozier out, you have like point guards. I mean, you have Jordan Dragic, Devontae Graham, you got Luka, who are only like point guard eligible. And then you still have Trae Young, who's only point guard eligible.
Maybe it would be contingent on his ownership projection. He's always like projected above average without Porzingis, and it's a short slate. But it isn't a great matchup. It is a back-to-back. He's been kind of injury-ish lately. But then again, no Seth Curry, no Jalen Brunson. I don't know, man. I'm so torn. 11K though, like I can't mess around. I need you to show up. Like in the last 10 games, that's 73 against New Orleans, which is a much faster. I think that was an overtime game at that. I could be wrong, but I think it was overtime. I could do without these 60s if it means I don't have to go, to like Thon Maker or something. Like I think I could go a little medium here at price point. So I think I'm a low man on Luka here. I might tier 3 him. We'll see. What else, chat? Donald says Slovenia versus Serbia. It's going to be European lit tonight. Hey, they usually do get a little narrative base at least in the home crowds, right? Joker's not shooting at all, not in the mood. Yeah, but at least he's like him not shooting equates to like assists. It's not like he's just not being involved. Peter says Barton small forward versus Dallas. I like that. JG says Cody or Caleb. Cody, Cody. Hunter says fading Luka. Don't want that chalk versus Denver. Yep. No fans at March Madness. Yeah, slow money. That's un-American. KJ, Kleba, Scott, Bazemore, Martin, Robinson, 4K smash plays. How many would you fit in your lineup? Robinson. Is Duncan Robinson 4K on FanDuel? Is that what you're saying? 4.9? Or Mitchell Robinson. Let's see, 4K on DK. What side are we talking about? No, all right. Bazemore. Man, those are some names. Scott? You talking about Mike Scott? If Embiid's in, I'm probably all the way out on Mike Scott. Clayba's probably the guy in that quadrant that I would put, or Clayba's probably the highest minute projection out of those guys. I wouldn't force any single one of those guys in my lineup. I think you can make some fun lines, but all that value for what? You know what I'm saying? Unless you're in love with Luka, and I'm not anti-Luka. I'm just saying value to squeeze in studs. It's not like we're flooded with studs tonight.
If you want to play Luka and Trae Young together, sure.
Yeah. There's a pretty strong 7 to 8, 9K range too, though. And like I said, if Embiid does miss, I could be back on Tobias Harris. I don't know. I do like some of the Kings. We'll talk about it in just a moment. Utah Jazz at the Oklahoma City Thunder. Project starting 5 for the Jazz. Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Royce O'Neal, Bojan Bogdanovic, Rudy Gobert taking on Chris Paul, SGA, Luke Lance, Dort, Danilo Gallinari, Stone Cold, Steven Adams. We got 218.5 total, 3.5 point spread in favor of the home team, Oklahoma City Thunder. Big Q tags for the Utah Jazz. Rudy Gobert, Emmanuel Mudiay. Rudy Gobert represents, at least 10 and 10, maybe 15 rebounds on a good night. He is questionable, and there's a lot of people suspicious of him not even playing tonight. And if he didn't, that would open up Tony Bradley, and I think Tony Bradley would be a little bit trendy, maybe even Big Swole. Ed Davis. Rudy Gobert's dealing with an illness. He's feeling a little bit under the weather and skips shooting around, so he won't really be able to test himself until he gets through his pregame routine, making him more of a GTD. If he's forced to the sideline, Ed Davis could get the spot start, and there would be more minutes available for Tony Bradley. That's from Tony Jones, beat writer on Twitter. If he's unable to go, Ed Davis is listed at 3K bare bones min on DraftKings, and then Tony Bradley 3,200, also a near mid price. So both those guys easily enter the conversation. The Oklahoma City Thunder, a little bit below league average in terms of fantasy points per game to opposing centers. It's not like we're absolving a lot of Rudy Gobert shot attempts. We know he doesn't really do that. But man, if we got somebody out there that, like Ed Davis, we know he's a point per minute beast. He's always been that. You got somebody out there that can get us to 25, 30 fantasy points. I think it's very viable. I'll take it. 4 shot attempts last game. 3 shot attempts. 4 shot. Like Gobert, it's not like we're not like replacing a bunch of shots, right? But I do like the thought of Davis and Bradley, making up some of the difference here. And then I don't really have a keen interest in like D Mitch or Mike Conley. I think you could really justify them being low owned tonight. So if you want to play that, sometimes leverage is to me more important than does the play make more sense pre-flop. Definitely a range of outcome for one of these guys to be a strong play. And then Bojan Bogdanovic versus Danilo Gallinari. I like running those two guys against each other. Bojan, a little bit sporadic, but he does flex some of those 30 to 30 plus fantasy point upsides in a sea of 12 and 8 DKP. But against Detroit, 41 fantasy points, 33, 48. So very volatile range of outcomes. He could literally give you single digits, but in it is some 100K to first tournament upside. And then, like I said, I don't mind running it back with a guy like Gallinari, who's just under 6K. Another guy that's going to compete for nearly 30 fantasy points more often than he won't. 26, 27, 38. What's he doing this year against Utah? One game he dropped 35. So I take 35 at 5'9". So a couple stocking stuffers. The other guards that we consider from OKC, Chris Paul at SGA, and then of course Dennis Schroeder off the bench. He's 6,200. He's right there at that aforementioned Duncan Robinson, Will Barton territory. So a lot of guys that make sense points per dollar. I think SGA at 6,300 is pretty cheap for what we know his potential to be. And then Steven Adams versus not Gobert, even versus Gobert, I could have some at under 6K. And I don't mind 25, 30 fantasy points as a low end projection there. And if he got real serious, I could see a little bit better projection coming his way. So Chris Paul, does that sound like an elite tournament player right now? All the guards we talked about, no one's playing Chris Paul, right?
No one's playing Chris Paul. Single digit ownership.
51, 48 his last two games. This season against Utah, he's averaging almost 40. I'm in. I like that. What are you doing with this one?
I mean, when you first look at it, I feel like Bradley would be the only player you could cross this game out. It's just too many other spots, but I guess in tournaments, you brought up Gallinari, definitely a play here. I just feel like at his price point, anytime he's under 6K, I want some Gallo because he can get you those high 30s, 40-point games in almost any matchup. If he gets hot from three, gets those rebounds. Give me some Gallo. Give me some Bradley from Utah. It's just that point guard slot so deep at 7'6". 1v1, Terry Rozier's ruled out. You're taking Devontae over Chris Paul.
I think there's still some contingency in that statement that I need. I guess for me, yeah, right? Devontae's the homie. Yeah. I do like Devontae getting assists, but man, it's not a guarantee that the Hornets score 100 points tonight. Do we have any sample size on that? I feel like Devontae Graham DKP by game log without Terry Rozier last 10 games. We'll do this and then we'll do an on-off check real quick. 45 in that one game, and that's the only game this season. He's only got one game this season without Terry Rozier, but that was against the T-Wolves, and that's just not fair. I would expect just a medium game from Devontae. I don't know. It's still the Heat. I don't know. I just think the idea of Chris Paul is so elite. No one plays this guy, and he literally could drop 50. This reminds me of the Pacers and Celtics yesterday. I wasn't on that game at all, but when you get two tough teams that play each other tough, and a bunch of guys that you could put at 30 to 35 minutes, you can get away with a game stack. And this one just seems like it's gonna fall through the cracks, and it makes it very viable for me in tournaments. Anyway, we got one game left on the docket. Take a pause for the cause. Let you guys know immediately following the stream, I will be in the RunDFS.com VIP Discord voice chat. What the heck is a chat? Chopping it up until lock. If you guys want to listen in, or if you're really, really feeling funky, grab a mic, man. Jump in the voice chat. Make some new friends in the DFS spectrum, and start chopping up some plays with us. We'll be hanging out up until lock, a little bit after lock, maybe. Talk some plays, talk some lineup construction, having some fun, making some dad jokes, and scaring the world about coronavirus. So it'll be lots of fun. Right now, if you get the month pass, pending any developments, we'll have a week or two of baseball included in the month pass, and I think you guys are really, really learn a lot from our baseball side of the house. So Go check that out. Go be in the Discord. You'll also get immediate access to the VIP spreadsheets. We have NASCAR spreadsheets, baseball and basketball, and then I also have my personal pool for each one. Main event tonight: Sacramento Kings hosting the New Orleans Pelicans. Project 35 for the Pelicans: Lonzo Ball, Drew Holiday, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, Derek Favors taking on De'Aaron Fox. Bogdan Bogdanovic, Harrison Barnes, Nemanja Bjelica, Harry Giles. Yeah, 232.5 total, 1.5 point spread in favor of the visiting New Orleans Pelicans. Pelicans, once again, priced up, 8K average for the whole team, but they could all get there. You're looking for 40-plus fantasy points. Hard to team stack 4 guys from this squad, but if you can get away with 2 guys, handcuff here and there, Alonzo, Zion, handcuff, something like that, I don't hate it. This is fire and ice, unstoppable force, immovable object. We get one of the fastest teams in basketball against one of the slowest teams in basketball, and that usually for me makes me take a deeper look at the slower team, the Sacramento Kings. A couple extra possessions here for guys like De'Aaron Fox. AK, can I get to 40 fantasy points? I think we could. Bogdan Bogdanovic, sure. Buddy Hield, revenge game, sure. Nemanja Bjelica. There's plenty of Kings here that I think we can exploit their prices for their minutes. I think Harrison Barnes, another guy, 49, 5K. Never fun to play, but he's going to get 35 minutes. If he falls into 30, 35 fantasy points, especially in a matchup like this, we're not surprised. So I will probably have a lot of Kings tonight. And then Pelicans, it's hard to get more than 2 Pelicans in a lineup, right? And justify it.
Priced accordingly. Like, I'm looking at fade today. There's just so much other plays I like. I'm going to just full fade the Pelicans. They're just all priced right. Drew Holiday can go for his 55, 60-point games that he occasionally has. I won't have any of it. Sacramento side, give me De'Aaron Fox. Give me some Bogdan or Bodan. And none of their bigs because Rashawn Holmes is back. If Holmes sees 25-plus minutes, I could see him getting there at 5K, but center's just too deep today.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, this would be one of my favorite spots for a guy like Rashawn Holmes. Nice, fast-paced matchup. Love it. But yeah, Fox, this could be one of those trip dub opportunities for De'Aaron Fox. I don't disagree with that. Has he played New Orleans? 1 game against New Orleans, 30 fantasy points, by the way. LOL. Yeah, chat, what do you guys think with this one or anything else before we get out of here for the day? By the way, Damron, appreciate those bits. 5 biddies on the Twitch, man. Appreciate you guys hanging out. If you guys are on YouTube, before you hit that door, why don't you hit that thumbs up, bro? I would appreciate that. If you guys got anything else for me, twitter.com/Gundackersports. Tweet at me. What's the schedule looking like for Manana? NBA schedule for tomorrow. Let's see if we get more games canceled, right? Tomorrow there's 5 games on the docket. Bulls at the Magic, Celtics at the Bucks, Grizzlies at the Trailblazers, Rockets at the Lakers. Ooh. And Nets at the Warriors, and we got word earlier that the Warriors games could have no fans. So that would be
That'll affect like the pace of play or something.
It has to. Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I would be chilling. Like no fans. I just feel like I'd be walking up the court.
Yeah.
It's just
I agree.
Things.
Like who am I, right? But if you ever played organized sports in high school or something, like fans are important. Even as a wrestler, right? Like if there's no one's in the crowd, like you don't get the adrenaline, right? You don't get to talk trash to hecklers. It's just you playing basketball in a gym. Like it's so, and even more. It's not even the same as like going to a local gym. It's a wide open arena where you're echoing when you yell "and one." Like come on, dog. That's so weird to me. Hopefully we get this all taken care of. This is wild right now. Crazy time to be alive. Anything else, chat? So anyway, I do anticipate the normal stream time tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central. Kenny says, doesn't Lonzo and Fox have some beef stemming from college days? I think so. Donald Rozier downgraded. Yeah. If Rozier's out, like I said, probably could see deep minutes for Cody Martin, and then deep minutes and usage bump for Devontae Graham. But I still don't have a high level of confidence that the Charlotte Hornets put up. Like, they could not score 100 real points today, and I wouldn't be surprised. And that's just the way it goes. But I'll dabble with that a little bit more as we get into the VIP voice chat. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me on a Wednesday afternoon. Make it part of my day, be part of your day. I'll see you guys on the flip side tomorrow or in the VIP chat in just a few moments, man. I appreciate you guys hanging out. I'll see you next time. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money.